Hello everybody, welcome back to the sessions on power electronics by Ramana. This is the 10th session in the series, and in the previous sessions we have discussed the various power electronic devices in unit 1 of our curriculum C18 curriculum for DEEE. The first unit was power electronic devices, in which the course objective was to compare different power electronic devices and select the device based on the requirement. These things we have discussed elaborately, and finally, depending on their ratings and their capabilities, how to choose the various devices to suit to the particular circuit. And in continuation, we switch over to the next unit, that is converters, for which the course objective is use different converter circuits as per requirement. Use different converter circuits as per requirement is our CO. Under this, we will be discussing various converters with loads, with different loads. Converters with different loads. The specific objectives, that is the classification of converters, advantage and disadvantage of all electronic converters, and then comes the working of various rectifiers or converter circuits, and so on. So basically, in this particular unit, we will discussing what is conversion, what are the converters, the classification of converters, and how their evolution came into existence, and one by one we will take up different converter circuits. So to start with, the present topic is introduction to converters. Introduction to converters. So as the name indicates, what is converter? Converter is something which is used to convert, or which is used for conversion of a given thing. What is that given thing? In our terms, it is electrical energy or electrical power. So, step by step in this session, the things we will discuss for these things are evolution of converters, classification of converters, advantages and disadvantages of converters, switching concept of power electronic devices. So, what is conversion actually? Whatever we have been exposed till this semester is conversion of energy. It can neither be created nor destroyed, but can be transferred from one form to another form, where energy in one form is converted into some other form, that is mechanical to electrical, electrical to mechanical, chemical to electrical, and vice versa likewise. But when it comes to this power electronics or electrical energy conversion, when it comes to electrical energy conversion, conversion means to change the electrical energy from one form to another form. What is this form again? As we know, it is electrical energy or electrical power is basically in two types. Broadly to say, that is AC and DC. And again, in AC and DC, different parameters can be changed as per requirement. That is currents, voltages and frequencies. So depending on them, we will be converting the electrical power available or given from a source from one form to another form, that is AC to DC or DC to AC or AC to AC or DC to DC. These things in the conventional electrical engineering concepts, we have done that through DG sets or MG sets, motor generator sets. DC power was obtained from MG sets, or AC power was converted to DC power by means of mercury or rectifiers or thyratrons. When you take a simple DC generator, it is fed with mechanical energy. Its output is DC. Input is in mechanical energy form, but that input can be given by a turbine, which is typically mechanical. But in terms of electrical machines, the actual prime mover which rotates the generator can be another electrical machine. It can be DC motor or AC motor. So by using AC motor, if you rotate a DC generator, the output will be DC. That is a sort of conversion from AC to DC. Likewise, if it is driven by a DC motor and the output is DC, then it is DC to DC. And apart from this, actually go into the theoretical concept of the energy generated inside a DC generator armature. Basically, according to Faraday's laws, whatever energy which is generated inside the armature, it is always AC. It cannot be DC. How that AC is coming out as DC from the armature? It is due to the commutator. So commutator is a sort of converting equipment. Their conversion is taken from AC to DC, and strictly speaking, the output of a DC generator is UDC, unidirectional current. It is not perfect or straight or constant DC, but their conversion is taking place there. And other sort of things apart from the machines is mercury or rectifiers or thyratrons, which were there before the evolution of power electronic devices. Again, these will convert mercury or rectifiers, as the name indicates. It will convert AC to DC, or thyratron. Again, we have discussed these things. So these were changing AC power from AC power to DC power. But all these things have been replaced by a more efficient and easily controllable power electronic equipment, that is presently for conversions circuits employing power electronic devices called converters are used. So the circuits employed for conversions are called as converters. Converter is a power electronic circuit which converts electrical energy or power from one form to another form, that is AC to DC or likewise. So that is the basic definition of a power electronic converter, or simply converter. There is a lot of contradiction in defining the converter, as the first converter which was developed was a rectifier, that is a converter circuit which converts AC to DC, was in the olden days called as a converter. But due to the technological developments and more know-how, and as better and better power electronic devices came into picture, all sorts of conversions came into picture. So strictly speaking, converter means it can be any type of power electronic converter which converts electrical energy from one form to another form. So the classification of converters is given like this. Basically, AC to DC, which is the most extensively used one, because the total transmission, power distribution and generation is AC. For various controls and all those things, you have to rectify it, or you have to convert it into AC into DC, that which is called as rectification. AC to DC conversion is called as rectification. The other class is DC to AC, where you will be inverting, or you are going in reverse direction to the rectification. From DC source, you will be giving AC output, which will be called as inverter. DC to DC, input and output both are DC, but what would be the difference? This is what I have just discussed. In the same thing, you can change currents and voltages according to our requirements depending on the load. That is DC to DC conversion, which is called as chopper. So these converters are called as choppers. Next, AC to AC conversion, in which again voltage can be controlled or regulated. So it is called AC voltage regulator or simply voltage regulator. The other one is cycloconverter. As the name indicates, it will be converting the cycles. Our cycloconverters are the power electronic converters which are used to change the frequency, to increase or decrease the frequency. Last but not least, which is entirely different from the other converters, is static switches. Static switch, as the name indicates, it will be just acting as a static switch which will not be converting anything other than to divert the path when from main supply to backup supply, or backup supply to main supply when main supply is re-established. Obviously this will be witnessed in all the UPS, inverters, SMPS, all those things, where whenever main supply is cut off, the static switch will immediately react to connect the load to the backup supply, which will be battery in most of the cases. And once the main supply is re-established, the switch will react to connect the load back again to the main supply. All these are achieved by using power electronic devices. Otherwise, by using the conventional or olden days, the machines and other electrical engineering devices and mercury arc rectifiers and thyratrons, this would have been very difficult. And all these converters, depending on their action and configuration of the circuit, are divided differently. Further, all the converters are named as uncontrolled, semi-controlled, or fully controlled converters based on the combination of devices used for switching actions. To understand this, just go back to the VA characteristics of diode and SCR, which we have discussed in the previous sessions. The turn on of a diode cannot be controlled. It will simply conduct when forward breakover voltage is reached, and it will turn off on its own when the voltage decreases. In the reverse also same thing occurs. But in case of SCR, you can change the breakover voltage at which SCR turns on by applying a gate pulse. That is why it is called as control rectifier. So that is sort of control action. If only diodes or other uncontrollable devices are used, it is an uncontrolled circuit. If a combination of diodes and SCRs are used, or other controllable devices are used, it will be called as semi-controlled converter. And a converter which consists only controllable, or when a converter consists all the power electronic devices which are controllable, it is called as fully controlled converters. These things are the broad classification. Then we will go through the actual types and different things in the following slides. But before that, just we will go through advantages and disadvantages of PE converters. But before that, again, just where will these power electronic converters will be used? Just we will go through another slide which will be useful. To start with, how a power electronic device works, or how power electronic field itself applies its technology into various things. That is, power electronic device simply it is not used just like any other switch in any sort of circuit like this. All power electronic applications will be through these power electronic converters, where electric energy is converted from one form to another form. So it finds applications in all fields. Just go through these power electronics applications which we have studied in the previous sessions. This is a more explanatory and better useful slide, where it is showing operation frequency on the horizontal and power capacity on the vertical axis, where TRIAC is for lower power capacities and thyristor family devices are for higher capacities. And again, at each and every place, which sort of power electronic device is useful for which sort of applications, it is given in this. That is, GTO can be used for electric cars or traction, uninterruptible or unregulated power supply, UPS, motor control. Likewise, all these things, again, current product range, future development plan in dotted lines, continuous is current. But again, all these things, power electronics, can be utilized for most of the applications with better development and better modifications. For the same thing, UPS, GTO can be used. At the same time, transistor modules can be used. MOS and IGBT can also be used. Likewise, triacs for washing machines, transistor modules can also be used. For refrigerator also, transistor modules can be used. Likewise, discrete MOSFETs, VCR. So for almost all applications, whether it is domestic or commercial or industrial applications or research applications, robotic welding machine, we find very wide applications of these things. So in all the power electronic applications, obviously the actual application will be through power electronic converter. When you compare the previously available electrical energy converting equipment, obviously power electronic devices and power electronic converters have very long life, which is obvious. Small size, this is the most important thing. Size, when compared to a normal electrical machine, will be reduced in thousands fold or at least hundreds fold. Again, efficiency will be high because of low loss. No copper loss will be zero. No core losses, no magnetic losses, no copper losses as such. So high efficiency will be there. High reliability, again, most important point. They can be reliably operated for longer duration and whenever wanted at very high frequencies. The other electrical machinery, electrical equipment cannot be used for high frequency of switching, can handle large output current. Yes, technology has been advanced so that you can design and manufacture all the power electronic devices to handle large output current. Less maintenance due to the absence of moving parts, no mechanical moving parts. So obviously maintenance will be less, friction and wind losses will be less. That is also something because of efficiency increases. Fast dynamic response. Once switching on, it will turn on or turn off within milliseconds of time, which is not the case with other equipment. Less weight and volume. So because of this, that require less floor space and therefore lower installation costs and other costs. Obviously, low thermal power dissipation or the heat generated itself will be very less when compared to other electrical equipment. And also the thermal heat can be dissipated by using proper heat sinks. Lower production cost as mass production is possible. When it comes to production, it takes lot of time and also mass production is not possible with the other electrical machinery, but our power electronic devices can be produced in mass, obviously. So production cost will uh, become very less. Apart from that, this is particularly these points related to particularly for grid and utility systems where fluctuations in power fed to the grid can be reduced. The output fluctuations from an electrical machinery cannot be controlled as such, but obviously power electronic the outputs of power electronic converters are without fluctuations, you can say simply. And also when they are fed to the power grid, those fluctuations can be controlled, that harmonics and other things can be filtered. Acoustic noise due to wide turbine is reduced. What acoustical, that is because of the sonic waves or sound waves which will otherwise disturb the actual waveforms can be reduced. High quality power to grid because of these things. quality of power fed to the grid from uh, power electronic converting equipment due to other installations like renewable energy sources, so solar and hybrid solar and wind, they can be fed to the grid without any compromise. High quality power can be fed. Flexibility in operation, uh, that is, you can change their operation according to the load requirement, their turn on turn off times, their response times, and also most importantly, they can be used, those circuits can be designed to operate in both the directions, which are called dual converters. Apart from all these many advantages, they still have some disadvantages which are not very problematic. Actually, complicated design to suit various applications becomes complexity, but it is possible because of the advanced technology. Complicated design is there, but it will not pose as much as a problem. This one is the most important disadvantage, which is not possible in case of power electronic converters. Regeneration of power is possible in case of electrical machinery or other mechanical things. Even in automobiles also, by using flywheels, you can at least store and feed it back when required. Regeneration of power is used regeneration of power can be done in case of all the equipment which has overhauling characteristics, whether it is electrical traction or hoists or cranes, where load drives the source for some time because of the uh, uh, momentum it has got, and it will supply generation back. When simplest example is when a train going down the gradient. Low input power factor in AC to DC and AC converters, particularly in case of these two, that is AC to DC rectification and AC to AC converters. Low input power factor may result, but that can also be improved. Circuit complexity and cost increases to improve the power factor. So additional circuitry are required to improve the power factor. For that, obviously complexity of the circuit and cost will increase. Low overload capacity when compared to electrical machinery and other mechanical machinery, overload capacity will be somewhat less, but again it can be increased with increase in cost. Generation of harmonics in the supply system as well as in the load circuit compared to other electrical equipment, more harmonics will be generated, and chances of harmonic generation are more in case of power electronic devices, but they can be suppressed also. So these are some little disadvantages of power electronic converters, which are not very high. uh, that is why, depending on the advantages which are uh, listless actually, as many advantages of power electronic converters are there. Now the conversion of electrical energy from AC to DC or DC to AC likewise are done wholly through power electronic converters. We cannot find the other procedures nowadays. Next come when it comes to classification of converters or rectifiers. To start with, the converters can be of any type: rectification, inversion, cycloconverters, voltage regulators, choppers, but just similar to thyristor family devices. There are many thyristor family devices, but SCR is called as thyristor in most of the cases discussions. Likewise, rectifiers are called as converters in most of the discussions. Throughout our syllabus in curriculum, uh, we will be calling rectifiers as converters. So in this case, phase controlled converter. It means this classification is for rectifiers. It is for rectifiers, and their action is controlled by phase control technique, which we will be discussing later. Phase control technique. So they are called as phase controlled converters or phase controlled rectifiers, which convert AC to DC. Again, as AC supply can be single phase and three phase, in most of the cases it is divided into two types, single phase and three phase. In this slide, the other types under single phase are shown. Three phase, similar things are applicable for three phase also. Single phase type, again it is divided into uncontrolled and controlled converters, as we have discussed in the previous slide. Uncontrolled means contains only diodes of which the action cannot be controlled. Controlled means it can contain both SCR and diodes. If the combination is there, it is semi-controlled. If it contains only SCRs or other controllable devices, it can be called fully controlled converter. And again, uncontrolled converters which contain only diodes are divided into half wave and full wave rectifiers, full wave converters. These things we have discussed in the AC circuits or fundamentals of AC also, where half wave rectification and full wave rectification, how their RMS values and average values will differ. Again, in half wave, that is only one of the cycle, only one half cycle will be fed to the load, that is why it is called one pulse. In full wave, both the pulses, that is both the half cycles, will be appearing across the load but in the same direction, that is full wave rectification. These are further divided into half wave rectification without freewheeling diode, with freewheeling diode. We will discuss again in the following sessions. Full wave 2 pulse center tapped transformer bridge type, where center tapped transformer is simplest one but costlier because a transformer is involved. And the number of power electronic devices required will be less in this case, whereas in bridge type at least 4 power electronic devices are required for switching actions. When we proceed further, this is for control converters, which it follows from here. Control converters contains both SCRs and diodes. In the same way as uncontrolled, these are divided into half wave full converters, half wave semi converters, full wave full converters, full wave semi converters. Semi means diodes and SCRs. Full means only SCRs. Likewise, diodes and SCRs, only SCRs. So that is the classification of particularly rectifiers or converters. Now, before further discussing and going to the actual rectification circuits, we will try to understand the actual way with which power electronic devices are dealt with, or how they are used in case of converters or applications. Here you have to understand the switching concept of power electronic devices, where two circuits are shown. First circuit is shown with a simple switch. Vs is the source. It can be phase neutral, means AC or plus minus DC. A resistive load is taken for just discussion purpose, where a simple switch is used. For normal domestic applications where current ratings are less, normal switch can be used. For other applications for higher current ratings, nice switches can be used. We will be considering this as a nice switch. The nice switch which we have known, or the basic type, is this one, SPST, single pole single throw, where the supply is connected to its pole and it will be making connection towards the load end or load side. When it is closed, it acts like a short circuit. Now consider that you have given AC supply, you want rectification, that is only positive half cycle to flow through the load. So what will you do? You will switch on or you will close this SPST switch only during the positive half cycle, and once it becomes zero at the start of negative half cycle, you have to open this, and again at the end of the negative half cycle and start of the next positive half cycle, you have to close this. And we know that the supply frequency is 50 Hz, or the time for a half cycle is 0.02 seconds, that is 20 milliseconds. In time at 20 milliseconds, you have to close this switch on and off for rectification to be done in this circuit. Can we do that? Obviously, it is humanly not possible, practically impossible to make it manually. Now, go through the other circuit where this SPST switch is replaced by an SCR. Again, this it can be replaced by any power electronic devices which suits the purpose. It can be a diode, SCR, or any transistor or any other power electronic devices. Here we have considered SCR. In both the cases, when we consider when switch is open, that is when SCR is not conducting, when it is in the forward blocking state. This is open, so the switch is taking the total voltage, it is blocking the total voltage, no voltage reaches the resistance or the load, and no current flows through the load, current will be zero. So this switch will be blocking the total forward voltage, and once this is closed, it acts like a short circuit. Voltage drop should be as minimum as possible, or you can practically take it as zero. Source current will be equal to load current, and during the negative half cycle, if you open this switch, source voltage will be reversed. Again, it should be blocking the total reverse voltage also. So this SPST switch should be capable of blocking both forward and reverse voltages, and forward current rating should match the load current. So these three ratings you have to take care. Likewise, in the case of SCR, it will be subjected to forward blocking voltage, or this should be capable to block the total source voltage in the forward as well as the reverse direction as compared with the first case. In this case, you can compare this with normal SPST switch, forward and reverse voltages, but forward are positive current to the load and SCR. So this is a two quadrant operation. These things you can compare with SPST switch, and in all the power electronic converter circuits, you will be using power electronic devices simply as switches, on and off switches, of which you can control the actions. You can decrease or increase the turn on and turn off times as per requirement. And this on and off of switches can be done in DC also at higher frequencies. Then they will be called as choppers. That is, again, SPST like SPDT, single pole double throw, also can be used where two different circuits will be having for different current flow. For that also you can be using. So all the SPST, SPDT, even DPST and DPDT switches can be realized by power electronic devices or power electronic switches, now called as AC or DC switches, and their operation can be categorized as single quadrant, two quadrant, or four quadrant operations, where they are subjected to forward and reverse voltages as well as forward and reverse current in some cases. Simplest is SPST or this SCR, which is subjected to forward and reverse voltages and forward current, which is a two quadrant operation. Same thing which we have discussed now discussed in a simple manner, AC switching and DC switching, where supply is AC and an SCR is used to control the lamp load. In this is a rectification where a full positive half cycle is allowed to apply the load. That is, gate signal is given at 0 time itself, t is equal to 0 seconds. Full positive half cycle will be applied to the load. Negative half cycle, it will be reverse biased, SCR will not conduct. So conduction will be maximum in this case, but negative voltage and negative currents will not be flowing. If you give gate triggering or gate pulse at some time lag, then only the shaded portion in blue, during those times only conduction will be there, those voltage and currents will be flowing. If you further increase this time lapse, the time and voltage through the load will be less, and the average current is deemed to flow through the load. So, and this time delay is measured in degrees or radians and called as firing angle or firing delay angle phi. Firing delay or firing angle phi. If phi is 0, full conduction takes place, that is full conduction. If phi is having some value, conduction will be less. And in a given half cycle for a total 180 degrees, if alpha is the firing angle, the remaining angle will be called as conduction angle or beta. Alpha plus beta will be equal to 180 degrees. For the case of DC switching, when the source is DC, you will be keeping the switch on for a required turn on time, and you will be keeping that off for some other time required as per the load. The total time period is divided into turn on and turn off times, and during turn on the current will increase, during turn off current will be decreasing, and the total effect of the average load current flowing through will be taken into account. This is how power electronic devices are used as switches by proper turn on and turn off control. When it comes to a block diagram, simply whatever we have discussed so far, main power source can be AC and DC, power electric or electronic circuit, converters, load. This is what we have discussed, but to suit to our requirement, you have to fire these power electronic devices to turn on and make also turn off. For that purpose, depending on the load requirement, the load parameters like maybe speed, voltage, current, frequency will be sensed and fed back to a control unit, which will be referring to a standard signals which are required to control the load. Depending on the reference, this control unit will be giving proper control signal for the firing circuit, which in turn will get activated to fire the controllable power electronic or electric circuit to change the switching action of this circuit. So accordingly, main power will be fed to the load actions can be controlled. That is how a power electronic converter operates. And as we have seen, there are abundant applications for power electronic converters and rectifiers and other converters also, but here only rectifier applications are discussed, which we have already seen in the previous sessions also. Particularly where the load is DC, rectifiers are used, means source is AC. Steel rolling mills, paper mills, printing presses and textile mills employing DC motor drives, traction systems working on DC motors, magnetic power supplies, portable hand tool drives which are normally used for domestic and commercial applications. Obviously, they are operated under DC motor. High voltage or HVDC transmission for these rectifiers are used. It is time for a simple quiz. A semi converter consists of dash as switches. Semi means it cannot be controlled totally. It can be controlled only up to some extent. Obviously, it is a combination of diodes and SCRs. A semi converter consists of diodes and SCRs as switches. In converter circuits, the parameters of SCR are alpha plus beta equal to, alpha is the firing angle, beta is the conduction angle, and it will be equal to the total angle of a given half cycle. 360 degrees is for full half cycle. So the answer is conduction, firing angle alpha plus conduction angle beta is equal to 180 degrees, or 180. Conduction angle is 180 minus alpha. You have to understand, in this beta conduction angle will be 180 minus alpha. If alpha is more, beta will be less conduction takes place. In a half wave rectifier circuit, an SCR has to withstand, just now what we have discussed is, it has to withstand forward voltage and forward current and also reverse voltage. So it has to withstand forward voltage and forward current and also reverse voltage. It is a two quadrant or 1 and 2 quadrant operation. It has to withstand forward voltage, forward current and reverse voltage. So thus in this session we have mainly discussed the evolution of converters, classification of converters, advantage and disadvantage of converters, and particularly most importantly, which you have to understand how power electronic converters work depending on the switching concept of power electronic devices, where power electronic devices are turned on and off at higher frequencies to manipulate the voltage or the power fed from the source to the load. They will be just acting as the switches to give conditioned input to the output. They will not be amplifying anything like other basic electronic components and devices. The understanding of concepts are tested with these questions. What is electrical conversion? Define a converter. Classify the converters. State any four advantages of converters. Draw the block diagram of a converter and explain its working. Define firing angle and conduction angle. State the applications of converters, that is rectifiers in this case. So that is these are the things which we have discussed regarding to the converters in this session, in this unit of converters, that is classification, advantage and disadvantage of power electronic converters. In the next session we will be actually discussing how the half wave rectification or half wave conversion takes place with SCRs when the load is resistive and also when load is inductive. Inductive means in most of the cases they are motors. All the motors will pose some sort of inductance due to their conductors or windings which are formed in the case of coils. Obviously that will result in some inductance. So that is all for now in this session. Thank you.